Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of What's Up With That, Alex? My name is Simon Kent, and I'm a co-founder of Connect Family Law. And with me today is Alex Bolin, who is one of our senior lawyers at Connect, and he's working out of our Kelowna office. So hello to you, Alex.
Well, hello.
So as you can see, we're on Zoom today because we're living in a COVID world. Normally, I'd love to drive up to Kelowna and see Alex and sit on the couch and ask him these questions, but we're going to have to do it remotely today. So we both worn some sweaters to give this more of a, just a warmer feel. I've got quite a large collar here. Oh, and look at this. I don't think you saw this before, Alex.
Oh, damn. I told you it looked Ivy League, but now I can really see it. You're like Professor Kent.
I need to be reading poetry or writing poetry, but
I think you need a pipe is what you need.
Oh, that'd be so good. Yeah. So this is a series, and I feel like this is number 12 or something we're on, but this is a chance or chance for me to ask Alex some, I think, challenging questions about family law. And so Alex, here next to the crackling fire, are you ready to be challenged once again?
Lay it on me.
Okay, here we go. So Alex, I've got a friend who was living with a woman for 3 years. She had 2 kids from a previous relationship, and now they have broken up, which does happen. Have you heard that? Sometimes people break up.
I have heard stories.
So they broke up, and so my buddy's living in an apartment, living his life, and lo and behold, his ex calls him up and says, "Hey, buddy, I want you to start paying money to me and for my kids, some child support and some spousal support. I'm going to get a lawyer. You better watch out." Now, my buddy calls me and he says, "What's up with that, Simon? I was only with her for 3 years and those kids are not my biological kids. Do I have to pay any money?" What's up with that, Alex? Got any thoughts on that?
I got a lot of thoughts on it.
Good.
Brace yourself.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's a bunch of important timing questions here. And I'm going to preface this by saying, I take it your friend and his partner aren't married, because I think you would have mentioned that if they were.
That's correct. That's right. Common law.
So, common law. So let's talk about the spousal support issue first, because in some ways that's the easiest. There is a time limit for his ex to bring an application or to go to court to get spousal support. And if she doesn't bring her spousal support action within that time limit, your friend can skip happily off into the distance. And that time limit is 2 years for spousal support, 2 years from the date of separation.
Okay.
So if they have been separated 2 years, probably he's in the clear. If it's less than 2 years, he may well be obligated to pay spousal support, but it will depend on a whole lot of different factors, including his income and her income, whether there are other children in the picture. A lot of different factors could go into it, and kind of outside the parameter of a 2-minute What's Up With That, Alex bit. But suffice it to say, if it's been less than 2 years, and especially if he earns more money than her, I would probably be a little worried if I was him. Now, the child support one is a lot more complicated and interesting. So once again, there's a time limit in terms of requiring her to bring an application for child support for these children. But it's a 1-year time limit, not a 2-year time limit. So in other words, if she's gone for longer than a year from the date of separation, she might be out of luck, and those kids would also be out of luck, and no child support would be payable in that scenario. If, though, she brings an application or starts a court action within a year of separation, then he is potentially required to pay child support. The first thing the court would be asking is, did this step parent, or I guess step parent's not quite the right word, but did he financially support the children during this relationship? That means something more than occasional gifts. It means something more than like a sporadic helping out here and there. It means somebody who's really contributing on a regular daily basis to their care in a financial sense. It could include, payment of rent for the mom. It could include contribution to household expenses, but it's something more than occasional or rare payment. So that's the first question: is to what extent was this person financially supporting the children? And then, the other side of it, or the other part of looking at it then would be, are these kids with the mom every day? Is it every other weekend with mom? I mean, that really depends too, because If they're with mom every other weekend and they happen to stay at the same house as stepdad and mom, then probably the case for spousal support is not, or child support is not very good in that context. So if, though, he has financially supported the children, and if it has been less than a year since they separated, he has a potential obligation to pay child support. I say potential because for biological parents, child support is kind of written in stone. Like, there's one thing you can't get out of, and it's child support. For step parents, that's not really the case. The first thing is that the legislation says that a step parent's obligation is secondary to the biological parents, meaning that when we're talking about child support, we're first looking to biological parents before we're looking at step parents. There's quite a bit of flexibility there for the court, but often what it does is it looks at it this way. Find out how much income the step parent has and how much child support they would have to pay to the biological mom if there was no biological father. So for example, if the amount the step parent would have to pay is $1,000 a month, that's your starting point. Then you look at, okay, how much child support is the biological parent paying or should be paid? So say the biological parent is paying $600 a month. The court will often take the $1,000, knock off the $600 being received from the biological parent, and have the step parent pay $400 and the biological parent pay $600. So that's one way the court will deal with it.
Right.
Legislatively, what the court is supposed to be looking at is how long a relationship is this, and how much, what's the extent of the contribution made by the step parent. And in doing so, the court is supposed to be taking what's called a child-centric view of things, which kind of means it's going to be more, it's going to err on the side of generosity to the children. It's going to err on the side of wanting to maintain a standard of living for the children. The other side of it is for how long, and there's not really a clear answer to that as far as I know. There's no legislative time limit in terms of how long is the step parent going to have to pay. One expects that it would be unlikely to be much, much longer than the duration of the relationship, but it's theoretically open to the court to order it to be longer. So again, in your friend's case, if he was contributing to the care of the children on a day-to-day basis, living with the children on a daily basis, and mom has brought the application within about a year, I'd be pretty worried.
Well, what I'm taking from this is that for someone like the mom, the advice is once you get separated, it's really important to go and see a family lawyer as soon as possible.
Yeah, there's time limits that go by, and it's not at all uncommon for people to take a year or longer before they feel prepared to pursue things legally. That's really common, and it's unfortunate, but sometimes that can mean that an opportunity is lost.
Yeah. I suppose the other advice would be never get into a relationship and never have kids. What do you think about that?
Well, as an environmentalist, one can see the advantages of that. But as a parent, I do like children, I have to say. So I'm not going to take an official anti-child position in this or any other video, I'm afraid.
Okay. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Alex. That wraps up another episode of What's Up With That, Alex. I hope that in the future, I'll be able to drive up and see you in Kelowna, and we'll do it in person.
Soon.
Okay, good. All right. See you later, everybody. Bye-bye.